Syrian troops have reportedly stormed houses in the city of Hama as anti-government protests continue. Tanks had deployed to the city on Sunday but then pulled back without entering. In recent days, troops have killed more than 20 people in a resurgence of mass protests in several cities across the country. Despite the promise of reform from President Bashar al-Assad, the regime shows no sign of relaxing its military campaign. Middle East correspondent Anne Barker reports.
These are the biggest protests seen so far since the popular uprising against the Syrian regime began nearly 4 months ago. Amateur vision posted online shows tens of thousands of people turned out in the central city of Hama, renewing their long-standing demands for the president Bashar al-Assad to step down from power. The demonstrations prompted swift retaliation. In all too familiar scenes, thousands of troops, backed by tanks, have been sent to Hama to crush any further unrest. Activists say communications were cut to the whole city, reportedly to facilitate the crackdown. Then state television announced President Assad had personally intervened to sack Hama's provincial governor. The latest unrest, though, wasn't confined to Hama. In Latakia, in Syria's north, and Aleppo, the country's second biggest city, protesters were also back on the streets, determined to bring an end to the regime.
We cannot stand here doing nothing, seeing everything happening around us. Even we are afraid, but we cannot stop.
A Sky television crew managed to get into Aleppo in defiance of a government ban on foreign media entering the country and shot what it says was the first verifiable footage of violence in Syria since the unrest began. Until now, President Assad has relied on the support of Syria's small but growing middle class, a mixture of Sunni Muslims and minority Alawites that live mostly in Aleppo and Damascus.
Most of the people here like him so much. We trust him, but maybe the problem is coming now to this country because most of the people don't trust in the regime.
But that trust could depend on the president's pledge to follow through on promised reforms, including greater freedoms and the release of hundreds of political prisoners from jail. In Damascus this week, a group of prominent intellectuals and opinion leaders have met to discuss ways to resolve the crisis and move the country forward. They claim to represent Syria's silent majority and even invited some opposition leaders to put forward their demands. But many believe it's already too late for such reforms and Bashar al-Assad has no option left but to leave. Anne Barker, Lateline.